How confident are you? How at ease with yourself are you when you're with yourself, when you're by yourself? How comfortable are you in your own skin? How grounded are you in your own existence, in your own assertions about the reality that you find yourself in? Self-esteem, self-assuredness, confidence. These are things that I used to struggle with ad infinitum. And that struggle that I've been through, bridging the gap between the struggle and the serenity that I now experience, is what I hope to catalyze for you. That conversion, helping you become the best version of yourself, to become at ease with yourself, to just become more comfortable in your own skin, to step into the light that gives you life. I think one of the best ways that I could possibly facilitate that for you is to illuminate some key clips that are on my desktop. I've got 4 video clips that I'm going to be watching with you. And what these clips exemplify is the power of frame control, right? Because on the one hand, we think we live in this objective realm, this objective reality. We're either a good boy or a bad boy, right? This very simple black and white binary modality. This map that we're following. That map led me off a cliff. A lot of the maps that I was given throughout my life led me astray. And my goal is to give you a better map to help you find your freedom, to blaze the trail again so that you can bridge the gap between the struggle that you're experiencing and the serenity that you'd like to. So without further ado, let's go through each of these clips, and I'm going to be bolding, italicizing, and underscoring the importance of the frame control, the legendary frame control exuded by choice characters in each of these clips. Now, this is embarrassing to say, but I've literally rewatched these, one of them in particular from 1996. It was the Mighty Ducks D3 movie, literally countless hundreds of times, just because of how much they piqued my curiosity. I was just so utterly, incredibly fascinated by these scenes as they played out. I find these incredibly beautiful, and I hope you garner as much entertainment and encouragement to excavate how these played out as I did. So let's start with the 1996 movie, The Mighty Ducks D3, and we're going to be watching Dean Portman go into the sin bin. This is amazing. As a fellow ice hockey player. So I'm going to skip ahead here to the precise scene that I would like to share with you. So it's going to take just a second here.
Go, go, hurry, hurry, hurry! Come on, get up, man. Don't do anything.
2 minutes. Cooking.
Come on, ref. What kind of call was that? Give me
Go,
the
son.
pick. I didn't do anything. That's a dime. Come on, ref. All right, ref, you want to see a penalty? I'll show you a real penalty. Get out of my face, man.
You want to see a real penalty? I'll show you a real penalty. Get out of my face, man. Oh my God. It gets me every time. Wow. Legendary frame control. He proceeds by stripping in the penalty box, the so-called sin bin. Now, I don't have any videos to showcase this directly, but there have been countless times where I would get a penalty in an ice hockey game. And of course, like, my head is down. I'm disappointed. I'm ashamed. I know my mom and dad are in the crowd and I can't even look at them. You know, I've been a bad boy, naughty, naughty, naughty. And this guy is frankly celebrating by stripping in the penalty box. He just has such a solid sense of his own reality. And to be fair, that actually was a pretty bad call, you know, in terms of his alleged hooking penalty. That's honestly not the greatest call that I've seen, but the point stands that in spite of being ostensibly wrong and getting a penalty, which is not particularly prudent for his team, right? To be down a man 5v4 for 2 minutes, that's not a particularly celebration worthy ordeal. And yet he's so confident, he's so solid in his own frame that the audience starts partying. Like, you would never see that in an individual like myself who just didn't have the confidence to actually pull that off, right? To actually have such a solid frame control that it is fundamentally impenetrable and it renders you invincible, because you don't have to worry about feeling lesser than. You don't have to worry about being bullied. You don't have to worry about any sort of shit test, for example, that a female would give you, right? It's like you're on a, on a first date, or maybe you're trying to pick one up in a cold approach, and you're being asked if you do this all the time, and you can say, you just say whatever you want to, right? Like, no, just for you, just this one time. Never done this before. I'm a very, very shy man. Never done it before, or I do it all the time. You're the 5,000th person today, right? Because you don't succumb to the frame that is being imposed on you. Now, there is value in consensus reality, and so you don't want to be a total lunatic. You do want to be cognizant of the way that others are interfacing with reality. You want to be emotionally intelligent and take that as feedback. But there's a very big difference between reacting to somebody's shit test, to a referee assigning you a penalty, putting you in the sin bin. There's a very big difference to reacting to that in a knee-jerk fashion versus acknowledging that and then doing a jujitsu around that. And the onus is on you to establish that fundamental difference, to not succumb to the former, but rather to opt for the latter, the jujitsu, to find a way to find your freedom and to acknowledge the consensus reality as it is, but not to have that affect your state, to not have that get you down when somebody's bullying you, when somebody is just questioning you, questioning your confidence, your integrity, the value that you innately have, the value that you're offering those in your periphery. The onus is on you to find a way to concurrently acknowledge that, but to navigate that in a way that doesn't degrade you, that doesn't make you feel like less, that doesn't put a dampener on the party that you are otherwise invited to everywhere. Anywhere you go, any room that you walk in, any room that you reside in, the party is here. It's a cup that runneth over, and you find a way to just find your freedom and get very present to the moment. Now, the second clip that I want to show you is this really popular prankster on YouTube. And this clip is incredible. The ramifications of this are nevertheless equally profound as in the first clip. So let's delve into this one next and see what we've got here.
What up, guys? Today I'm in New York, and this is the Apple VR prank.
Of course, he's wearing a jersey with the number 69.
Oh my God! Whoa! Oh my God! It's a bass!
Oh my God. The kids are smiling and people are loving it, with the exception of that really bratty girl off to the left. I'll rewind in just a second, but he literally doubles down on the fact that it's a bass. And just like how assertive and assured he was when announcing that to the entirety of New York City here. It's like, it's a bass. And he doubles down, it's a bass. And he just, and it's nothing. He didn't catch anything. Now, if you're anything like me, you could probably catch Moby Dick himself and not be as confident in your fisherman skills. Do you see the problem with that, though? The problem is that you have so much more to offer the world. And there's a lot of guys out there, my friend John being one of them, are such good people. They're so honest. They've never hurt a fly. They've got a heart of gold. And they deserve to have the best of this life. And I want that for them. But the problem is that they don't have this confident, brash, indifferent, outcome independent persona. And that is a disservice to them in a lot of ways. And it's a disservice to potential females, for example, that they could interact with and that they could infect in the most positive way possible, allowing them to be in good hands, to be with a good guy. And so if nothing else, I want to show sort of this extreme to plant the seed that frame control matters. And it's everything. And you want to position yourself in a way where you're not easily knocked off your rocker, right? You're grounded, you're at ease with yourself, and you operate from that core. And then you have just this great range of expression that you can potentially pull from. And what I'm going to do now is actually just going to rewind a few seconds here. And now you can see, look at all these people, they're loving it, right? They're taking videos, they're celebrating with him as he announces the fact that it's a bass. And it's literally just air and like this fake VR that he's wearing, right? But it doesn't matter because he's just so grounded in that reality that other people just fall into it. Look at that announcement. Just he's not blinking. He's super confident. It's a bass. He's just announcing it like he just doesn't care. Now, look at how disappointed, just how disturbed this individual is. I mean, this kid loves it, as do ostensibly most of these other folks. One of the great reactions I loved was this woman here. You like to see that. So, frankly, that's one of my favorite clips to exemplify this idea of frame control. And I hope this is just planting the seed and nurturing it, nourishing the idea that can grow on you. The idea that you don't have to be just this shell of this person, that you get the sense that you could be, right? This person who just kind of crosses the T's and dots the I's, but if we're being honest, just has a stick up their butt. And I'm talking to my younger self, by the way. So if this resonates with you, I hope you get the sense that there is hope. There is serenity on the aforementioned other side of struggle, and you can bridge that gap. You can work towards that. You can become confident and you can become at ease with yourself. And it doesn't mean that you become Dean Partman from the 1996 Mighty Ducks who is stripping in the sin bin. It doesn't mean that you have to go to New York City and wear a fake Apple VR and video from several different angles and upload that to YouTube. But there is some sort of authentic expression. There is some form or flavor of that you're capable of, that you'll have the pleasure of experiencing, and in a way that just really resonates with your personality to the point where you just feel free. God, you can just let go, and it can just be okay. And you're no longer worried about how you're being perceived by others. But again, that doesn't mean that you go out stripping out in public. I mean, this is a joke that I often make, which is that I would actually do that and not have any adrenaline rush. Now that, by the way, to be fair, it does remain to be seen whether or not I could do that, but I'm really quite confident that I could. But it doesn't mean that I do that because, again, there is consensus reality. There are legal hoops to jump through. There are laws that, as a law-abiding citizen, we need to be cognizant of, and then also being aware of other people's reality. But notice that in the two examples that we've seen thus far, people actually quite enjoyed that. And I would suspect that that is because we all want that deep down. And when we see somebody who has found their freedom, with the exception of that really uptight girl, there's a part of that, of us, that so greatly we yearn for that. I know I always did. Even the 1996 movie, whenever I saw that for the first time, maybe I was 10 or 12 years old, it just always resonated with me. And I remember watching that on VHS tapes. I would rewind it just countless times, just autistically rewinding it and just assessing the dynamics. Like, how could that possibly play out? I was so mesmerized by that, right? If it wasn't Chris Angel Mind Freak, I was into magic as a kid and just wondering how he performed different tricks. To me, this was the real magic, was the frame control, was not letting people get the better of you, not letting people get under your skin, and then by extension, stepping into the light that gives you life and offering people the best possible energy. Now, the last two videos that I want to watch were recorded by my mom on, I believe it was like this old flip video. And I had started getting into making these videos as a kid in middle school, and that continued throughout high school. And my mom recorded each of these videos. Now, the first one is anticlimactic. And that's going to be a video of me being presented with my high school diploma. And you can see I've got like all of these bullshit, cords around my neck in terms of, or maybe it's just one, I can't remember. I was like an high honors student, top 10, just all of this in retrospect and hindsight, just all of these unnecessarily astute credentials that didn't make me individually feel any better. And then the second clip that we're going to watch is my fellow classmate and graduate of that day in 2012, Tyler, who has none of the above. And Jesus, we'll watch the videos, and then there's much to expound upon after. This was one of the best days of my life, and not even because I graduated, not because I got my diploma, but because in person I saw something that I could not unsee. And I played this scene back several hundred times in my mind, and it really offered me a lot of insight as to what was possible for me once I got over myself, once Jason Jr. could jailbreak his mind and get out of the prison that he had erected himself, a prison that nobody else wanted him to reside in. And that's what I realized, is that people want you to be free. I want you to be free. I love you. Other people want you to be free. And when you express that freedom, and you see this in the way that people dance so freely, in the way that they sing, in the way that they just are at ease with themselves, crack jokes, the way that they talk, the way that they smile, the way that they hug, the way that they love, laugh, and live. We all want that, and that lives deep inside of all of us. And I want that for you, and that's why I'm going to show you each of these videos, and we'll talk a little bit about them in a bit. This is the first one, video of me graduating.
Jason Luke Laporte.
Yeah, let's see, barely cracks a smile. I guess I did, okay. Not the... Okay, so by that time I was able to crack a smile. All right, let's have a look here, just like at that end. Just at the end of that video here. Let me see. Yeah, so I've got like, the several chords. I'm not even sure what each of those represented. Now, the point there being is that doesn't give you the value, right? Like these external accolades, the chords, the high honors, the acknowledgement, all of this nonsense. You don't need any of that. And that's evidenced by the next clip that we'll watch. But actually, I wanted to zoom in on this individual right here. This is my classmate, Ian. Look at how confident, just the way that he claps, and he's out of his head, man. I am so stifled. I'm like, oh my God, like, how am I being perceived right now? Just analysis paralysis. And this kid is just so free, as is Tyler. Now, this next clip that we're going to watch, you cannot unsee this. Buckle up.
Tyler James Bryant.
Oh my God. Wow. That is just so no. Oh my God. All right, we're going to watch that again. But now what I'm going to do is just paint the picture for you. So the individual who's actually handing him his diploma, this I think matters context wise, is his advisor. I'm not sure if maybe you had an advisor in high school, somebody that you would meet with at the start of each day in concert with a number of other individuals. And it was just someone that, quite frankly, you could confide in. You know, somebody that had your best interest at heart, not that peripheral teachers didn't, but it was just the case that we called it homeroom, where you would have a teacher who was especially astute and cognizant of your situation and trying to help facilitate excellence in your academics. Now, it turned out that this particular advisor, Steve, was also the dean of the school or the principal of the high school. And Tyler was not a particularly astute student. And so he was someone that struggled, frankly, just to graduate. You know, we're talking about maybe a 2.0 GPA, and I'm projecting a little bit. I don't know like the exact dynamics, but somebody who clearly had a number of different detentions and scenarios that posed legal ramifications, you know, in terms of drugs and so forth. You know, somebody who was a little bit rough around the edges. And so, I mean, Jesus, in spite of all of that, he doesn't have any cords. He doesn't have, I mean, Jesus, like any accolades to speak of. And you saw how enthusiastically he emotes when he's presented with his high school diploma. And then people just start clapping and laughing. And they love that because there's just such an essence to that. There's such a truth in that. You know, when he's expressing that, it's like we all kind of want to be able to do what Tyler just did. And in a sense, I took it as an invitation to actually become capable of that, right? To just pull the stick out of my butt and to get out of my own head and to stop worrying about the way that other people are perceiving me. And I just want to acknowledge Tyler for that. I mean, like, what a gift is being given here. And I'm sure I'm the only one who saved this video, has it on his hard drive, and Jesus, how many years later is still watching it? Let's watch this again because it bears repeating.
Tyler James Bryant.
And Steve knows, man. Oh God, Steve knows. Now, I was always fond of, everybody's cracking a smile. Wow. Now, and this kid too here, Chris, you know, he's got all the accolades, but, you know, he starts clapping here too as well. There we go. That to me is beautiful. It's beautiful. Being so present. Just, you get the sense that there's nothing else that he could have done that would have been as or equally authentic as that. Like, that is truly what he was feeling in that moment. And he just let it rip, man. He let it fly, let it rip. And he loved it. And I love him for that. And I love you for that, for taking this idea seriously, that maybe you're not everything that you could be right now. Maybe there's a higher level expression of you that would actually be more authentic, that other people would actually appreciate more, but you don't know that because you've never taken a chance on being yourself. You know, you can always fail doing something that you don't want, so why not take a chance doing what you love? And likewise, you can always fail, or you can always be rejected being somebody that you're not. So why not take a chance on being yourself? Why not do something different? Why not treat life as a game of Battleship? Try something else. Try N5. If it's not a hit, try B6. And just play around with it. Have some fun. Have some fun. Don't take yourself so seriously. Get out of your comfort zone and do things that allow you to expand. Expand your circle of concern, expand your comfort level in life, and expand the horizons that you want to. That's it for today, my friend. Drop a comment down below. like and subscribe for more content like this. And as always, until next time, find your freedom.